Okay, I just came back from work so I could unbox this DJI RS3 Mini. It's the first ever gimbal I bought for my mirrorless or DSLR camera, so I'm super excited about it. But let's get started by rolling the intro. For those of you new to the channel, I'm Bellemare-Alford, a young photographer and filmmaker on the journey to become better at this art. The reason I'm so excited to have a camera gimbal is actually that I'm going on a trip in Iceland in just a few weeks and wanted to make sure that I could get some buttery smooth footage while I'm being there. If you've watched my recent review of the Sony a7 IV after using it for over a year, you might know that one of the downsides of this camera is actually the stabilization is not that good. One of the problems with most of the gimbals I saw before, they were just too big, too complex to use, but I think this one is actually going to fix most of those problems. So let's get started here by unboxing the gimbal here. Okay, here we go. So there is the gimbal right here. Let's look at what's inside of the other box right here. So we have, I think this is an empty box, there's nothing inside of here. And this second box right here, we have a few accessories, so charging cables here. We have some attachments here. We have the little foot right here. Okay, so here we're simply gonna screw in the legs like here, and this is gonna allow me to put this up. There's the little plate right here. I'm gonna have to go and install it on my camera, but I'm gonna head right away back to work and then go to the cherry blossoms at University of Washington to film some test footage using this gimbal. Okay, so I kind of forgot here that I actually had to stabilize all of this before I could go out and start shooting. Okay, so this actually ended up being a lot harder than expected. After passing about 30 minutes trying to figure it out by myself, I went online and watched a YouTube video on how to set up and then took about 5-10 minutes to set up, so it wasn't that bad. And now if we take the gimbal here and I try and place the camera, it holds more or less the position here. So this is looking pretty good. The next step is going to be opening it up and setting all the features here and auto-tuning it before I can actually use it for the first time. So let's go do that. Okay, so setting this gimbal actually took a lot more time than expected. It took about an hour in total in the end, but part of this is my fault. I should have installed the app right away because the app actually explains to you how to set everything up, so it would be much quicker if I did use that. Once the app was installed, I was actually able to set up everything else. So I set up the Bluetooth connecting to my camera. This works perfectly. I can use the power button right here to start, power button, I mean the record button, to be able to start and stop recording on my camera. But then I came and tried to do a few test shots just to see how I was reacting with it. And it was actually really weird because it would be very jerky, it would move around in a really weird way. And I was a little bit scared there was a problem, but actually I only had to go on the gimbal and use the auto calibrate option, and this fixed the problem right away. So it wasn't a big issue at the end. Just make sure that once you've set up your camera and make sure everything is right, that you set up this so you can get super smooth movement. So now if I can move it with the joystick here, or if I move it using the handle here, it's perfect and it works really well. It's super responsive, so I'm really excited to finally go to University of Washington and test this right there using this DJI RS3 Mini for the very first time. It's been about 2 weeks since I last filmed this part of this video, and I decided that while we're doing this hike, it's the perfect moment to test out this gimbal and really put it to the test. To practice getting more interesting shots for my Iceland trip, I'm going to be using the 7-shot sequence from Becky and Chris. This is going to allow me to get some more interesting shot, and to really challenge myself, I'm going to be doing all the shots using my gimbal right here to get some movements inside of them. If you're wondering what is a 7-shot sequence, it's basically 7 types of different shots that you can get and put them together to get some more interesting sequences when you're in a location where you're not 100% sure how to plan it or how to get the shot. So this is really great when you're traveling. For the first shot here, we're going to do what is called an establishing shot. Most of the time, this is an ultra wide shot or a drone shot to set the mood of where you are and what story you're going to be telling. So here I'm going to be telling the story of us getting ready to go on the hike. This first shot is going to be an ultra wide shot where I get closer to the car, but on a wide angle lens so you can get the nice scene with the car and my friend getting out of the car and also showing that we're going on a hike right here. For the next 4 shots here, we're gonna get a mix of medium wide shots and also some close-ups and mix them all together to really tell the story that we're trying to show here. So here it's my friend getting his stuff out and starting his hike. The first shot we're gonna get right here is on the side of the car. I'm gonna move back while my friend is opening the trunk of the car. Okay, so for the next shot right here, we're gonna go with a close-up following the hand of my friend Nicholas right here, picking up his bag inside of the car. Let's film it. Okay, so next shot right here is going to be a very simple one. It's simply going to be my friend here in the back, prime medium wide shot here. He's going to have his backpack on, close the door, and then walk away. We're just going to be moving slowly on the back here with the gimbal while he's doing that. The little trick here, when you have to turn around the gimbal, put it on FPV so you can easily move it around. Okay, so for the next one here, it's going to be a very simple shot. It's the classic shot following the feet of Nicholas walking. So I'm simply going to go low to the ground, follow what he's doing with his feet nice and close. Okay, so the next one here, we're gonna do what is called an unexpected shot. For this one, you just wanna be as creative as possible. So for here, what I thought is by following my friend from underneath the cars, but from the other sides of the car. So we're only gonna see his feet on the other side crossing here. I don't know how it's gonna look, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be an interesting shot. Okay, so the last shot we're gonna get right here is gonna be an abstract shot. And for this one, I thought that we're gonna put the plant here in focus, move the camera up a little bit, and get my friend Nicholas walking in the background, but completely out of focus. I hope it's gonna look good. One of the most important tests I wanted to do with the DJI RS3 Mini is to see how good it is for some vlogging shots. I'm currently using my Sony a7 IV and have it with the active stabilization mode, but it's still pretty shaky. Actually, when I did my trip in France, I had to post-stabilize almost all of the vlogging shots because they were kind of usable and were hard to watch. So I really do hope that putting the gimbal on is going to help them be a lot more stable and also have a wider field of view. Let's put the camera on the gimbal. I now have my Sony a7 IV on my DJI RS3 Mini and I'm only holding it with one hand. How does it look? Is it more stable? Does it look better? From the test I did before, I'm pretty sure it is the case, but let me know in the comments down below. I wanted to quickly talk now about why the 7-shot sequence is so important for me. And it's that when I go on trips, I usually get to a location, quickly try taking as many shots as possible, take some videos and also take some time just to enjoy the place I am. But this means that when I get back and try and edit some videos, it's actually a lot of the times really hard. This was really a problem in my French trip and also a problem when I went on the West Coast because it takes forever to create some better videos because I don't always have the shots that I want. So using this 7-shot sequence technique allows me to get enough shots for everything that I need to get some cool sequences in the end for my B-roll instead of my videos. Do you know what's my favorite feature? No, it's not the grid stabilization. It's not a small size either. Come closer. It's actually that this plate works with my Peak Design clip right here, and you cannot know how great this is because I can still use the accessories I already have with this new gimbal, and it makes everything much simpler to use. I won't go into too many details, but here's my first initial review of the DJI RS3 Mini. I love this size. It's super easy to put on my side pocket. It doesn't fold down completely, which is kind of a problem, but the half fold is actually good enough to slide on the pocket and it holds there perfectly. The initial setup was kind of long. It took me over an hour to get it set up, but now I added some tapes all around. I can really quickly fold it completely and unfold it afterwards if needed. It's also pretty easy to adjust afterwards when you know how to do it properly. Some of the downsides I have with this gimbal is actually I'm not sure how good the battery is going to be. So for today, I'm still around 70% and use it a lot in the last few hours, which is not too bad, but I don't know if it's going to last a full day or not. And this might be a problem because it's actually a huge battery to charge and takes quite some time. The second issue I have with it is simply the weight. It's actually quite heavy, and having a camera on top of it just makes the setup a lot heavier. It's not a huge issue, but it adds weight inside of my camera bag and also adds weight when I'm operating the camera. So overall, it just makes the whole process a little bit harder to use. Finally, the last point I'm a little bit scared about is how it's going to resist to rain. So because I cannot fold it down completely and put it inside of my bag, I actually have to keep it outside of my bag. And this might be a huge issue when I'm going to be nice and it's going to be raining all the time. I don't know if the motors are properly covered or things like that. So I'm a little bit scared about that point with the gimbal. While going through some of the footage, I actually realized that some of the shots that my friends got were actually very impressive. So they didn't know how to use a gimbal, they didn't know what were the settings, they just went out and started shooting some shots just for fun. So one of them is my friend Trevor following my other friend, and he's running like crazy and the image comes out super smooth, which is very impressive. The other one is while skiing, my friend Julien went down, and it's actually really impressive here that he gets super stable shots, because if you ever tried taking some videos while skiing, you know how hard it is to get some stable shots. Let's go back to the video. Now I have an important question to answer. Should you buy this DJI RS3 gimbal? The answer is yes, but only if you know why you're buying it. At $369, it's actually pretty affordable and definitely will allow to get some more creative shots. But there's also some issues, and the main one is that it really does slow down the process because you always have to take it out, recalibrate it, get started each time. It's just slower to use it overall. I do think it's going to be a really good tool when I'm going to go nice and allow me to get some more creative and smoother shots in the end. With that being said, I know I'm not going to be using it for every single video, so I definitely have to buy it with the specific use cases in the end. Like I like saying, this is a tool, so if you know exactly when and how you're going to use it, definitely get it in that case. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know by hitting the like button below, and definitely subscribe for more content on photography and filmmaking. See you in the next one. Do you know what's my favorite feature here? Bah, j'oublie ce commentaire. It's actually that if I... What? Faudra que je unclip ça plus facile. What the heck? Est-ce que tu filmes encore? Ah, ça va être génial comme vidéo.
How does it look?
Not perfect.
Try it again. I'm gonna have to complain about this Sony touchscreen.
Yeah, usually it's not that bad.
You getting dizzy?
No, not me digging. Oh, there is a Trevor.
What is that? Oh, the vlogger.
They look like an official vlogger.
Official vlogger. Like yeah.
No.
What a vlogger. You're a true YouTuber here.
Go back.
What an amateur YouTuber. Doesn't know how to use his own gimbal.
Gets stuck in vlogging mode. She's being filmed.
And you're being filmed. You might be in the next YouTube video here as he does the...
Oh no, I missed it! I missed it! No! Can't believe I missed this!
Get it?
No, I missed it because it wasn't in the right mode. The camera was moving all over.
That's perfect.
No, it's not.
Trevor, you're too lucky.